Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something really practical. Brian Tracy's Eat That Frog. It's one of those productivity
It
classics.
really is.
And our mission today is basically to boil down its 21 strategies into something you can use, like right away. We want to give you that shortcut to beating procrastination and, boosting your productivity.
And it all comes back to that core metaphor, which is just so visceral. Eat the frog.
Yeah, it sticks with you. But let's clarify for anyone new to this, what does eating the frog actually mean when we're talking about work?
Okay, so it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
It means figuring out your single most important task for the day. Usually it's the hardest one, maybe the one you dread the most. That's your frog.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea is you tackle that first thing before anything else. If you eat that frog first, you get this huge burst of momentum.
Right.
And everything else feels easier afterwards. And it's a
Yes.
psychological win, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Sets you up for a productive day.
That really is the core of it, isn't it? And speaking of getting things clear, there's this statistic that always kind of blows my mind.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, only about 3% of adults actually have clear written goals, just 3%.
It's shockingly low.
Hmm.
And that small group, they achieve way, way more. Their productivity is significantly higher. They tend to earn more. It's a huge gap,
Wow.
which just proves why our first theme is so vital. You can't really eat the frog effectively if you haven't even identified the right frog, right?
Makes sense.
So we have to start with getting crystal clear. Tracy calls it definiteness of purpose.
Okay, definiteness of purpose. Let's unpack that foundation. So if your goals are fuzzy, your motivation tanks and procrastination just loves that fuzziness.
Exactly. Procrastination thrives in ambiguity.
So Tracy lays out 7 steps for setting goals. What's the absolute must-do step after you've actually decided what you want, assuming you've talked to your manager? Aligned things.
Writing it down. Seriously, we can't stress this enough.
Really, more than anything else.
It sounds simple, but it's the difference between just like a wish and a real commitment. Writing transforms it from a thought floating around in your head into something concrete, tangible.
Okay.
Your brain starts treating it like, okay, this is real. We need to work on this.
And then the next piece is adding that pressure cooker element, right? The deadline.
Oh, absolutely. A goal without a deadline.
Yeah.
It's just a dream, basically. It lacks urgency.
Yeah, it just stays on the someday list forever.
Precisely. The deadline is what forces you to start thinking about when and how. It combats that urge to just push it off. But, the whole 7-step process, deciding, writing, deadlines, listing steps, organizing, it always ends with the same critical point.
Which is?
Take action now.
Yeah.
Immediately. Don't wait. Because an average plan that you actually start executing is infinitely better than some brilliant, perfect plan that just sits there.
All right, perfectionism being another procrastination trap. Okay, so that clarity helps, but then we need to plan the day-to-day, and planning shouldn't feel like more work, right?
No, it's preventative, like you said. There's that quote from Alan Lorkin, bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now.
I like that, bringing the future into the present.
And this ties into the 10-90 rule. Think about this. Spending just 10% of your time up front planning your tasks can save you up to 90% of the time when you actually execute them.
90%, that's huge.
It is. 10 minutes of planning could save you like 2 hours of fumbling around or redoing work later. The return on investment is just massive.
So planning isn't just about the big master list of everything you ever want to do. It's about the daily list. What's the key insight there?
The trick is to make that daily list the night before.
The night before. Why?
It's not just about convenience. It's actually a bit of a brain hack. When you set your agenda before sleep, your subconscious mind actually chews on those tasks overnight. Yeah. You often wake up with more clarity, maybe even some solutions to little problems figured out. Plus, you skip that morning indecision that, what should I even start with? Feeling. Decision fatigue is real.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Plan the night before, let the subconscious do some work. But we need a note of caution here, right? Planning can go too far.
Oh, definitely. We have to be careful. While planning is absolutely essential, you can fall into the trap of analysis paralysis.
Where planning becomes the procrastination.
Exactly. You feel busy because you're planning, organizing, tweaking the plan, but you're not actually doing the hard thing. You're not eating the frog. You have to recognize when planning stops being useful and starts being a comfort zone, a way to avoid the real work.
Okay, that's a really important balance to strike. And it leads us perfectly into the next big theme, prioritization. Because once you have a plan, you usually realize you have like 5 frogs or 10.
20, yeah.
How do you choose which one to eat first? Which brings us to that famous principle.
The 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle.
Right.
We've all heard it. Roughly 20% of what you do produces 80% of your results. The vital few versus the trivial many.
And the danger is that we naturally drift towards...
The trivial many? Of course. Those quick emails, the easy admin tasks, the little things, they give you a small, fast hit of, I did something.
Yeah, that feeling of accomplishment, even if it's minor.
Exactly. It relieves a bit of tension, but it doesn't require deep focus and it doesn't move the needle on your big goals.
Yeah.
Procrastination loves the trivial many.
So the million-dollar question you need to ask yourself every morning looking at your list is
this task I'm about to start in my top 20%? Or is it in the bottom 80%?
and if it's in the bottom 80%.
You have to resist the urge to do it first, defer it. This connects straight into thinking about consequences. There was research by Dr. Edward Banfield.
Okay.
He found that having a long-time perspective, thinking years, even decades ahead, was the single best predictor of upward mobility and success.
Interesting. So thinking long-term helps you make better choices today.
Precisely. Rule 1, long-term thinking improves short-term decision-making. When you look at that frog, that A1 task, you evaluate the consequences of not doing it today in light of your bigger future goals. Successful people get good at delaying gratification for bigger rewards later.
Which brings us to a very practical tool for sorting this all out daily, the ABCDE method.
Yes, this is Tracy's core system for ruthless prioritization.
Yeah.
It forces you to label every single thing on your list.
Okay, walk us through the letters. A is for.
A tasks are the really important ones, serious consequences if they don't get done. These are your frogs, your must-do items, the core of your job.
Got it. B tasks.
B tasks are things you should do. They have mild consequences if you don't. Maybe returning a less urgent call or reviewing a non-critical report. Important, but not as vital as A tasks.
Okay. C.
C tasks are the nice-to-do things. Calling a friend, having coffee with a colleague, tidying up something minor. Zero consequences if you skip them entirely. They often feel good, but don't really contribute to results.
Right, the comfortable stuff. Now D and E, these can be tough for people.
Very. D is for delegate. If someone else can do this task, even if they only do it maybe 70% as well as you could.
70%.
Yeah, Tracy's benchmark.
Yeah.
If they can do it 70% as well, you should delegate it. Get it off your plate entirely to free you up for your A tasks.
Okay, that requires letting go a bit. And E.
E is for eliminate. These are tasks you should just stop doing. Maybe habits you've fallen into, reports nobody reads anymore, meetings that aren't productive, things that are no longer relevant to your main goals.
Okay, practically though, how do you handle pushback? Like you decide something is an E task, but maybe your boss thinks you should still be doing it. Or you try to delegate a D task.
That goes back to the definiteness of purpose we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You need that clarity and alignment first, especially with your manager.
Ah.
If you can clearly show, look, by not doing this C or E task or by delegating this D task, I was able to finish our crucial A1 project ahead of schedule, the conversation changes completely.
So the results justify the prioritization.
Exactly. And the absolute key to this whole method is identifying that one task, the A1, the single most important thing with the biggest consequences. And you start that immediately. No Bs, no Cs until the A1 is done.
That's the discipline. Now, I like this next idea because it feels counterintuitive but useful. You can actually use procrastination strategically.
Yes. Chapter 16 calls it creative procrastination. It's brilliant, really.
How does that work?
Look, you can't do everything.
Yeah.
There just isn't enough time. So you have to make conscious choices about what not to do. Creative procrastination means deliberately deciding to postpone, delegate, or just eliminate the low-value tasks.
The C's, D's, and E's.
Right, the posteriorities, as Tracy calls them. You actively procrastinate on those things to protect the time and energy you need for your high-value A tasks.
Posteriorities, I like that. And there's a mental filter for this.
Zero-based thinking. It's a great tool. You look at a task or commitment you currently have, and you ask yourself, knowing what I know now about the results and consequences of this, if I weren't already doing it, would I choose to start it again today?
Ooh, that's a tough question for some things.
It really is. But if the honest answer is no, then that task is a prime candidate for delegation or elimination. It forces you to constantly audit where your time is going and cut out the stuff that's just accumulated over time. Learning to say no is crucial.
Fantastic. Okay, we've got clarity, we've got prioritization.
Yeah.
Now, for the hardest part for many, execution. Getting it done, keeping the momentum. Chapter 8 talks about preparation.
Yeah. Thorough preparation is like lubrication for action. It reduces the friction, that causes procrastination.
How so, practically speaking?
Well, simple things, like having a clean, clear workspace. Sounds trivial, but a clean desk makes you feel more effective and in control.
That's true, actually.
And critically, gather everything you need for that A1 task before you start. All the files, the data, the tools, the background info. Don't sit down to start and then realize you need to go find 5 different things. That just invites distraction.
Removes the barriers to just starting.
Exactly. And Tracy even suggests adopting productive body language. Sit up straight, lean forward slightly. Assume the posture of someone who's engaged and ready to perform. It actually influences your mindset.
Okay, posture matters. But what about those truly massive tasks? The ones that feel so overwhelming you don't even know where to start? That big report, that huge project? That's where procrastination really digs in its heels.
Right, the sheer size is paralyzing. That's where you need tactics to break it down. 2 great ones. First, the salami slice method.
Salami slice.
Yeah, think of the giant task as a whole salami. You can't eat it all at once. So you break it down into thin, manageable slices. Focus on completing just one slice at a time, perfect for things like writing a book or a long proposal, one chapter, one section, one small piece.
Okay, break it down. Makes sense. What's the other one? Swiss cheese.
The Swiss cheese method. This one's great if you're facing massive resistance. Like you just cannot bring yourself to start. You commit to working on the task for just a tiny fixed amount of time, say 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
Yep.
You're not trying to finish a slice. You're just trying to punch a hole in the task.
Just to get started.
Exactly. Just to break the inertia. Often, once you've worked for those 5 or 10 minutes, it's much easier to keep going. Each little hole you punch, each tiny step forward, taps into our natural urge to completion. It actually gives you a little dopamine hit, makes you feel good, empowers you.
Small wins build momentum, okay? But to keep that momentum going all day, especially on tough tasks, you need fuel. Chapter 14 talks about personal power or energy.
This is so crucial and so often ignored. Your energy level dictates everything. Tracy says you could be 2 to 5 times more productive when you're fully rested compared to when you're tired.
2 to 5 times.
Yeah. So you absolutely must know your own body clock.
Yeah.
When are your peak energy hours? Morning, afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
You need to identify those high energy periods and fiercely protect them for your most demanding A1 tasks. Don't waste your best brain power on checking routine emails or doing low-value C tasks.
That requires real discipline, even down to basic health habits.
Absolutely. Prioritizing sleep is non-negotiable for high performance. Aiming for a consistent bedtime, maybe around 10 p.m. on work nights, can make a huge difference in your focus and willpower the next day. Fatigue is procrastination's best friend.
Okay, so manage your energy. Then, once you actually start the task, Chapter 21 hits us with single-handling.
Yes. In today's world, this might be the hardest discipline of all. Single-handling means you pick up that A1 task and you work on it, and only it, without distraction, until it is 100% complete.
No multitasking, no quick email checks, no phone glances.
None. Because every time you switch tasks, even for a second, there's a cognitive cost. You have to reload the context when you switch back. Studies suggest that this constant starting and stopping can increase the total time it takes to finish complex tasks by up to 500%.
Wow, 500%. That's staggering. That alone should make you want to close all those extra tabs.
It really should. So when that urge hits, and it will hit the urge to check your phone, check social media, whatever.
Yeah, what do?
You need a simple mental override. Tracy suggests the mantra, back to work. Just say it to yourself, firmly, but without judgment, and immediately redirect your focus. Back to work.
Okay, simple, effective.
High performers develop this bias for action, which connects to the final piece,
Well,
cultivating a sense of urgency.
getting to motion.
Exactly. Action is what makes the whole system work. It triggers the momentum principle. Getting started, overcoming that initial inertia, that's the hardest part. But once you're moving, it takes much less energy to keep moving. And that's when you can hit that amazing state of flow where you're deeply focused, time flies, and you feel incredibly competent and productive. That boosts your self-esteem like crazy.
So wrapping this all up for everyone listening, we've gone through a ton of strategies from Eat That Frog, but it really feels like it boils down to a core process.
I think so too. It's basically 3 key stages if you want to simplify it. First, get absolutely clear. Write down those goals, know your purpose, define what success looks like for you, know your frog.
Okay, clarity first. Second,
Prioritize ruthlessly. Use the 80-20 rule, use the ABCDE method, whatever works, but you have to identify that single most important A1 task for the day. Isolate the biggest, ugliest frog.
got it. Clarity, then prioritization. And finally, third.
Execution and momentum. Use those tactics like salami slicing or Swiss cheese to just get started. Then, protect your energy, use single handling to stay focused, and drive that A1 task to 100% completion. Eat the frog completely.
And remember, this isn't just about ticking boxes on a to-do list,
No,
right?
not at all. It's about building habits for continuous improvement. Think of yourself as always learning, always growing. Maybe commit, like Tracy suggests, to spending an hour every day reading in your field, upgrading your skills. Realize that pretty much everything you need to succeed is learnable.
So all these 21 strategies, all this advice, it seems like they all point back to one underlying quality, one thing that makes it all work.
You nailed it. It's self-discipline.
Mm.
That's the glue. Consistently choosing to do the hard, important thing first. That is self-discipline in action.
Mhm.
Every time you make that conscious choice to eat your frog, especially when you don't feel like it, you're not just getting work done. You're actually shaping your character. You're building that muscle.
And that habit, built day after day.
That habit is what ultimately lets you become, as Tracy puts it, the master of your own destiny. It's about taking control through consistent, focused action on what truly matters. That's the real power behind eating the frog.